Hey everybody, Charles Wooden, CEO of Geekdom, here today, really excited about our most recent Geekdom Community Fund. We have 4 amazing companies that are going to be pitching for you today. So here at Geekdom, our overall mission is to build San Antonio one startup at a time. And the way that we accomplish that is by helping companies and teams ideate, cultivate, shape, and grow their ideas into viable businesses that are ready for the next level. And it is so essential, the community fund, to be a part of that journey, to be able to inject these early stage funds into these companies and help them progress through that journey. And it has been so impactful for the companies that have come before, and I'm really looking forward to see how it impacts the companies that you're going to see today. So the Geekdom Community Fund is so important for our community because it is an injection of $25,000 investment into an early stage company to get them to a new level of success. Those companies come out and do some amazing things. We've had some great winners, most recently White Cloud Drones, who's filming this right now. We also have Boston Mobile Homes, who just received $1.7 million in investment, and of course Float Me, which just closed $3.7 million in investment. It is a very essential piece to the growth of companies to get them through stages so that they can be ready for what's next. So we have 4 amazing companies that are going to be pitching to you today. First, we're going to have Jennifer, who's going to be pitching you Betty's Co. After that, we'll have Joel pitching you Curate. Then we'll have Adriana pitching you Athlete Constellation. And last but not least, Sumita, who will be bringing to you Neurolabs. So all these 4 teams just finished an amazing pitch to our judges. This judging round was made up by 5 great individuals who are great institutes to our community. We had the great Brett Pyatt from Jungle Disc, Cole Wallach from Realco, Amanda Kimmer from Javalt Consulting. We also had Mary Joffett from Joffett Media, and last but not least, we had Alfred Mesquite, who's been working with Active Capital. Those 5 judges had a really hard time figuring out which one of these 4 is the best. We just got the news from that. We'll be announcing it a little bit later, but don't forget that you as a community also have a voice, and you will get a prompt here in a little bit to be able to make sure that you input your community vote. And then we'll end up giving a gift to a community winner at the end of today as well. So really excited for you all to see these 4 pitches. And for all 4 of these companies, there are 4 key questions that we ask for anybody who goes up for the Geekdom Community Fund. And those 4 questions are, first and foremost, how is this investment going to help out that company? What stage is it going to bring them to? The second question we ask is, how does this investment affect the community? So the ecosystem as a whole, but also the Geekdom community. Will it help them progress through it? Will they be hiring somebody from the community? Will it become an amazing story that we all can reflect on later? Third, we ask what is the potential return on investment for this $25,000 safe note. So is this company going to blow up at a later date, and will there be a return on investment that then we can turn around and give to more community companies? And then last but not least is, what is their innovation looking to disrupt? So what industry are they trying to innovate in, and how is it going to be effective, and what new things are we going to see based on what they're doing? So if you're interested in applying for the next round, make sure that you are a Geekdom community member in good standing for at least 90 days before applying. And then keep a lookout for the next application, which will be opening. We do this once a quarter, so we have 4 more coming up in 2021. So keep your eye out for when applications open, and make sure to submit as soon as you can. And we'll look forward to seeing you up here on stage next. First up, we've got Jennifer with Betty's Co.
I'm Jennifer Newell, and I am the founder and CEO of Betty's. Betty's is a women's health company that caters uniquely to younger women, and we support them with clinical care, products, and education. I started Betty's because I had a negative experience in women's health care when I was a teenager. And as I've gotten older and I've become more familiar with women's healthcare and the healthcare industry at large, I started to share my experiences with other women. And I learned that every woman has a story. Every woman has a healthcare related story, whether it's about a condition they have, an experience they've had with a clinical provider, or about the lack of knowledge about their bodies. Our goal is to be able to see our first patient in March of 2021. I've applied to the Geekdom Community Fund to help us realize that possibility by hiring clinical staff, and by starting to build out our mobile facility, which will be important for us to get the awareness we need on college campuses, in various neighborhoods across San Antonio, and to really build a rapport with our target demographic. Hi, I'm Jennifer Newell, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to tell you about my company, Betty's. We're going to talk about women's health today, and let's face it, that can be a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to kick us off by embracing the awkwardness. I'm going to share my story. I was 17, and I never started a period. For women, our periods are like a barometer for our overall health, and most women start their periods around the age of 12. My pediatrician recommended we wait to have it checked out until I was 16. So like any other teenager, I put it off another year, and I had my first gynecological visit when I was 17. And at that time, I was diagnosed with a condition called premature ovarian failure. It's a pretty rare condition in which my ovaries stopped working, and the result is infertility. But my diagnosis isn't where my story ends, it's where it begins. From there, I spent 5 years solo navigating a healthcare system that did not serve younger women well. And after almost 20 years, not much has changed. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recommends young women have their first gynecological visit between the ages of 13 and 15. But pediatricians practice under the guideline to refer their patients to an OBGYN at the age of 21. Why does this matter? Because most 21-year-olds aren't still seeing their pediatricians. Most older teens simply stop going, even if they still live at home. And in this time, when young women aren't getting any care, they're blowing off painful period symptoms, they're experiencing infections that have nothing to do with sex, but while we're talking about it, they're having their first sexual experiences. They're also at the highest risk for developing mental health conditions. This period of time where they're not getting care, we call this a care gap. Sure, some young women do get women's health care before their 20s, either of their own volition or at the urging of a parent or guardian, but their experiences with today's women's health providers are inconvenient and awkward at best, and at worst, they're shameful. This is absolutely unacceptable for the 20 million young women in this country, including the 109,000 right here in San Antonio. They deserve better care and better options that are suited to their unique needs. And they're not shy about telling you what they want. At least that's what I learned when I surveyed 200 local young women. They want a place that is just for them, that offers wellness, including weight and nutrition, mental health and gynecology. And they want it to be affordable. So that's what we're going to give them. Betty's is a women's health company that will provide integrated gynecology, behavioral health, including counseling, and wellness care to women in their teens and 20s. We will serve customers in 2 settings. The first is virtually through a custom digital platform, and the second is in person in a stylish mobile health boutique. Both settings allow Betty's to meet young women where they are. That's on their computers, on their phones, on college campuses, at work, and in their neighborhoods. Betty's isn't just a clinic, though. Betty's is creating a culture around women's health that spans far beyond what happens in a visit. First, Betty's will have a robust lifestyle site that features rich health and wellness content. The site is currently in development and will be a place where young women can connect with each other, share their stories, and ultimately feel seen and heard. Second, Betty's will be a place where young women can shop for personal products with support and guidance. We're calling this the Awkward Shop, which will be available online and as a pop-up shop in our mobile clinics. And lastly, Betty's will make it easy and comfortable for young women to get their medications. We will partner with a pharmacy to white label and ship medications that are ordered through Betty's custom patient portal. These wraparound services are intended to create an exceptional and branded experience, but also to increase profitability. Even though Betty's isn't offering any pregnancy-related services, in today's political environment, it's more important than ever that Betty's be financially independent and sustainable. Betty's for-profit model, with our diversified revenue streams and ambitious growth plans, provide the path to profitability. We are estimating in the first year, we will have about $1.6 million in revenue, but more importantly, we will be able to impact the lives of 4,400 young women. By year 3, our revenue estimates are just north of $8 million, and our margins are at 39%. But more importantly, again, we will be able to impact more than 20,000 young women. As we continue to grow, our profitability will increase, and our estimates are conservative and based on industry standards, but the impact of the lives that we touch are unquantifiable. I want to change how an entire generation experiences women's health, and that takes a team. I am fortunate to have the support of some of the best clinical, administrative, and technological talent, most of whom are local to San Antonio. This is intentional. I want to be part of growing and serving this great city. Imagine if, with all the healthcare and technological resources, San Antonio becomes a hub for women's healthcare, including technology, research, and care delivery. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to share my company, Betty's, with you. I'm Jennifer Newell and look forward to serving the young women of San Antonio.
That was a great job, Jennifer. Love the pitch. Next up, we've got Joel and Casey who are going to be pitching to you Curate.
Hi, my name is Casey Harris, and I am co-founder and chief curator of Curate. Curate actually popped in my mind in the middle of a dream, and I woke up with this idea, and it was really coming out of this place of wishing that I still had the cassette recordings of my grandmother talking about our family story. And I recorded Joel's grandparents before they died, and I can't find those cassettes. I never shared them with anybody. And then wanting something more from social media, wanting a place where I don't have to worry that everything looks great or that I'm not doing the fear of missing out, comparing myself with everyone else, but where I'm actually getting to be authentic and hear from other people about what really matters at the end of the day, what they've lived, what they've learned, something that's fun and connective, especially around family story and memory. So that's where the idea for Curate came from. That was about 2 years ago, and my husband and I decided to pursue it about a year ago.
Some things she's been going through. When I was about Claire's age, I was probably 10, maybe 11 years old.
I'm Joel Harris, and I'm one of the founders of Curate, and my role there is Chief Activator. I'm a Geekdom member because we are starting a tech company. I never dreamed that I'd be starting a tech company, but we are starting a tech company and we're bootstrapping it. And one of the things that I realized very quickly was there was a lot that I didn't know. There's a lot that we don't know. And so I wanted to go to a place where I could find all of that under one roof. And a good friend of mine, Lorenzo Gomez, has told me about Geekdom for years. And I showed up here and I was literally about to tear my hair out. I was like, we're trying to start this app. We don't have any of the things that we need, and I need a website, I need mentoring, I need just maybe a shoulder to cry on. And it sort of all was here at Geekdom, and I got a hoodie out of the deal, so it was totally worth it.
Hi, I'm Casey Harris, and I'm the co-founder of Curate and our chief curator.
And I'm Joel Harris. I'm one of the co-founders of Curate, and I'm our chief activator. And we are beyond grateful for the opportunity to apply to the Geekdom Fund and share about Curate today. Casey, I think we should make a Curate video as we get started.
Let's do it.
And share our pitch with the Geekdom family. How about we use the prompt, if you could solve one world problem, what would it be and why? Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go.
If I could solve one world problem, it would be to create true human connections about what really matters and pass it to my kids and grandkids in an organized, fun, interactive way through social media. Family albums are kind of dead. They sit on a shelf. Home videos don't really happen. Or I have 1,000 in my phone, and today social media isn't replacing it well. Families and friends don't have a safe platform and a simple way to prompt and capture their stories and connect around them.
That's awesome. I'm posting this Curate video and it'll go to everybody in our family circle. So life goes pretty fast. And I think of the sound of my grandmother's voice, the great stories my grandfather used to tell, the first steps our 14-year-old took when he was a toddler. These and 1,000 other memories are ones that I wish I'd kept, I wish I'd shared, and I wish I could still easily access. Some of them were stored on cassette tapes or video recorders or broken digital cameras, and those are all things that we've lost and we don't have today. They're really only stored up here.
Despite all the tech options we have, I don't think we're a lot better off. We're missing something that truly authentically connects us around what matters, and we're missing the safety and trustworthiness of an app that connects it. We want more vitality, more connection, more authenticity, not more division or distraction. We want to connect with the people we love. That is why Curate exists, to create authentic and ongoing connection around the things that we've lived, learned, shared in a safe, ad-free environment organized by family and friend circles.
So that's why we created Curate. We wanted more. And so today, Curate version 1 is a mobile app that is just released for Apple and Google Play. And here's how it works. You create an account, you generate a unique code for a circle of your family and friends, and then start recording a prompt-based video lasting up to 2 minutes. Some of these are, tell me about your first date. What was the worst job you ever had? What was your first car? And what are you worried about for the next generation? What's your most vivid memory? You record a video of up to 2 minutes on these topics or prompts, and you can even create them. And as soon as you complete your video, like I just did, and you post it, everyone that's in your secure circle, your family members, your friends, they're notified on their phones that I've just posted a story and what it's about. The videos are organized by date and timeline in a secure and ad-free environment just for your family.
We created Curate with the help of a development shop in Los Angeles called Sidebench, funded by friends and family loans and our own savings. We released Curate on November 20th, 2020, with the purpose of getting a ton of user feedback to guide monetization features in the development of version 2. Today we have over 50 people who have created accounts on Curate, who've created friend or family circles and are providing really great feedback for our version 2. We've applied to the Geekdom Community Fund to finance the next phase of development to catapult Curate from today's minimum viable product into a viable business built from a monthly subscriber base.
So we've learned a lot in the first month of Curate, and we've learned a lot about the user design, the user desires for fixes and new features to build into version 2, and what people will pay for. And so let's talk just a little bit about what some of those new features will be to go from our MVP to version 2. So Curate version 2 will give every user an emotional experience from Jump Street when they open up Curate. It'll simplify the onboarding process so you can easily distribute to your family and your friends and get them on board quickly. It'll enable family chat features within a secure circle so you can communicate with the folks who are in your circle and video back and forth. It'll open up multiple circles, so you might have your family circle, you might have your extended family circle, and you might have your circle of only your friends. It'll help reorganize the prompt so you can easily find the table topics that you want to engage around. And it will build in multiple payment tiers so that you'll be able to identify what subscription you like, how many circles you want, and it'll help monetize the app that we have. And probably most importantly, there'll be a global feed for everybody to see the things that we all want to see about life, about what's meaningful, the memories and the moments that we want to capture, and what's authentic. Curate's payment tiers will be between $50 and $150 per year, per user, and per family group, depending upon the size and the features that people select.
And once version 2 with the fixes, features, and payment tiers is ready for release, we'll start organic user acquisition through digital marketing. We want to start right here in San Antonio as our first urban target market. We'll focus on low-cost marketing to build up our subscriber base and generate enough revenue for a paid marketing strategy, and also to hire an in-house development team.
So we believe that the market is huge because there's such a clear gap in the family memory space. Our primary audience will be parents, families, and grandparents. And we aim to inspire family or friend circle champions who will pull in the rest of their circle to take Curate viral. From nearly a year's worth of concept development, conversations with potential users, and with folks who are in the social media and tech space. We believe that Curate will be a viable niche product, since these are family video memories and people will pay an ongoing premium to save them in an ad-free, secure environment.
Here's a quick summary of our differentiator from some large competitors. People are more and more distrusting of Facebook. They don't feel comfortable posting things, particularly people in my parents' age, 60, 70 plus. TikTok is fun, but it's aimed at a very adolescent audience, like almost all social media is. Goofy videos are great, but where's the space for things of meaning that we actually really do want to curate and share? Instagram is beautiful. I enjoy it myself, but it's often dominated by a fear of missing out, or look how cool I am with my drink in Cabo, and who's with me, who's not with me. Marco Polo functions somewhat like a video walkie-talkie, but it's not designed as a family legacy album. You can't have multiple circles with prompts that encourage you to go a little further with a little more connection. iCloud, Dropbox, they'll store your videos and photos and even create a summary of videos for you, but it's going through literally thousands of photos, many that you don't want, some probably accidentally taken by kids. You have to sift through a ton to get to what really matters. Other products like Legacy Box and Storyworth save family memories, but not through a collective app. And it's not usually spontaneous video content. Curate exists to make it simple, safe, and special to share and save what we love most in life, what we've lived and learned with those who we care most about.
So a quick story as we close. As we've been developing Curate, our primary test group has been our family. We've spent thousands of hours with our family members over the course of our lives. And for me personally, I've spent thousands of hours with my dad, growing up in my adolescence and as an adult. And countless conversations I've had with him, and I love him. But frankly, not all of them, and only a small fraction of them, have really been deep and meaningful. Since we've been testing Curate, he's been responding to the prompts. And it is through this that I've learned more about my dad than I had in moments previous. And one thing in particular popped up when he responded to the prompt, "What's your most vivid memory?" And here's what he said. And this came through Curate on a video that he was sitting at his kitchen table recording. He made a 45-second video about how he saw my mom in the hallway of Odessa High School in 1967 for the first time and fell in love in that single moment. And that's a memory that I want for me. That's a memory I want for our family. That's a memory that I want for all of us for all time. It's about the power of the human spirit, what's most meaningful in life, and what makes life so beautiful. And that's what Curate exists to do, to capture those moments for all of us.
And you never heard him share that before, had you?
Nope.
Yeah, that's neat. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to apply with the Geekdom Community Fund, and for letting us get to this stage, and for the encouragement. This is a great opportunity that we're really grateful for. And I'm Casey Harris, and this is Joel Harris, and we're the co-founders of Curate.
Joel and Casey, that was an amazing pitch. Love what you guys are working on. Keep it up. Next up, we've got Adriana, who's going to be pitching to you about Athlete Constellation.
So my name is Adriana Hernandez, and I'm with Athlete Constellation. I started this company because I used to work at a sports management company, and so often we would get calls from friends and family or just random people saying, "Hey, you know what? I know this kid and he's showing a lot of promise in their sport, but they're having a tough time getting noticed by scouts and coaches." So we thought it'll be so cool if there was a space like a LinkedIn for them to just promote themselves really and network that way. In building a startup, I think it's always so hard. It's not an easy task, and especially I think a tech startup. Joining Geekdom was the best decision I ever made. They've been so helpful, all the network of mentors and advisors, and everyone's willingness to help out. It's been life-changing for us. We wouldn't be here today if we weren't for Geekdom. We're really excited about the community fund and so grateful to be finalists here. I mean, it'll be so good for us to get that fund because we're just starting out. We're right now developing the product. We are hoping to launch in March or April of next year. And with this, it'll give us the ability to create a grassroots campaign to go with it and promote it in the local sports.
So this is Athlete Constellation, the LinkedIn of sports. Our goal is to create a space for young athletes to promote themselves. Usually, young athletes rely on showcases, referrals from coaches, or who they know to make it into universities or pro teams. Our solution is to create a space where athletes can put together a profile with all their basic characteristics, videos, pictures, in a centralized place where everyone can see it. Also, we are creating a search engine for the scouts. If a coach is looking for a soccer player who plays defense, who is between the ages of 14 and 16 and more than 5 feet 9 inches tall, he can use filters to narrow down the search and review the athletes' profiles and connect with the ones that they like for their team. They can be as specific as they like. Our target market is 13 to 18-year-olds who are looking to go into university sports or pro sports. We will start with soccer because that's where our expertise is at and all our connections. From there, we will expand to sports throughout the US and finally internationally, where there are over 360 million young athletes looking for an opportunity to continue growing in their sport. So with over 15 years of combined experience in sports and PR, our team, along with our advisors, developers, and interns, has what it takes to make Athlete Constellation a success. There is a lot of opportunity for partnerships with brands looking to get to know more about our users. And because of the line of work that we're in, we already have frequent contact with many people in the marketing departments of Adidas, Puma, Body Armor, and many more who could be potential partners. And of course, advertising would be a natural next step. We are building this platform in a space that is projected to go from 228 million in 2018 and is expected to reach 3.4 billion by 2025. So it's growing potentially. We will be focused on growth and profitability from day one to make sure the ROI is very attractive for our investors. We do have some competition out there, platforms that are very successful at what they do, but most of them are very formal. And from the feedback that we got from the users, they're looking for a more friendly place, a more social place to network in. A place that it's easier to use and keeps them engaged. And we are doing just that. So how are we gonna do that? By encouraging people to do frequent updates and participate in video challenges to help start organic conversations with peers and coaches. They can pair their wearable devices to the platform to show everyone how active they are. And by doing all of that, they will be eligible to win grants and prizes from our sponsors. If we win this competition, the funds would help us build more functionalities into our MVP and also launch a grassroots campaign where we can offer local athletes a mini video and photo shoot for their profiles and highlight reels. From the very start, our focus has been on the community. We have been talking to them and listening to their needs so we can create something of value for them, because their success will be our success. Thank you again for having us. My name is Adriana Hernandez with Athlete Constellation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, daughter has fun on Yagi, her brain fried. My lady Papa's Danny, out her lady popping Molly, why she waiting on me? You're in my area, keep on heading if you want, I drive it like you know. I don't wanna hear you, just trying to know, like I'm Bango, cutting my hair. I just keep going though, 소식 꺼낼 믿고 I fly non-stop, Kelly to New York, 구름 위로 hop on, drive out and riding birds, honeyberry, counting dogs.
Great job, Adriana. I love what you guys are working on. I think it's very essential. Next up, and last but not least, we've got Samita, who's going to be pitching you Neurolabs.
My name is Samita Jonak, and I'm the founder and CEO of Neurolabs. So I started Neurolabs because it is a problem that has personally afflicted my family, as well as everyone on our team. My father passed away from cancer, and it was diagnosed when it was too late. And that's the same thing that happened to my very close friend and partner in this project. Her father was diagnosed with cancer in June, and he passed away in July in the course of our summer class together. And it was because it was diagnosed too late. So we wanted to fix this. We saw that this was a problem. Cancer is treatable when it is found early, and the current modalities are actually really lacking because they require very expensive tests, doses of radiation exposure, and it's just difficult to detect in early stages. So we thought there's got to be a better way to challenge the gold standard, and liquid biopsies are the next wave of early cancer screening. So I've been a part of Geekdom for a while. I've been a mentor, and I've got a whole collection of t-shirts from all the Startup Weekend events, and it's awesome. It is really awesome to come in and see these very, very excited entrepreneurs. I wanted to be on the other side of the table. I wanted to be the one being mentored this time. So that really came down to the inspiration. All of those people, especially at the Startup Weekend for Women, those gals jazzed me up. It was actually quite a surprise. I had no idea that such a fund existed. Having been a Geekdom member, I didn't know. And so when I saw it, it was actually an email that I got, having been on their distro. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then I started, looking about the requirements, and it's like, wow, this is really not that hard. I can do this. I can fill out this application, and I might actually have a shot at it. I was actually surprised to even make it to the finalist round, and part of that reason is, having volunteered at Geekdom, I've seen most of the companies are software as a service or, IT related, and so I was like, wow, what are they going to think about a medical device company? Someone coming in with a med tech, hard tech background. I am so happy to have made it as a finalist because it shows that Geekdom is expanding. Hi folks, my name is Sumita Jonak. I'm the founder and CEO of Newer Labs. My team and I wanted to tackle something really tough and transformational in healthcare. And that's why we picked lung cancer, because it's the #1 cancer killer globally. Now, what's really insidious about this particular cancer is because it's asymptomatic in the early stages, which means that you don't find out until it's too late. In fact, this is a cancer killer that kills more people than colon cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer combined. And like you, I thought, wow, this is a smoker's problem. Why should I care? It's not. I was shocked to learn that 1 in 5 who die of it are actually non-smokers. In fact, now with the coronavirus, we don't know what the impact of COVID-19 has on long-term damage to the lungs and the propensity to actually get lung cancer in the future. So how do we change this? How do we get to a better modality for screening, for true early detection, for true precision medicine? We need to be part of your annual physical, which means that we need to do a routine blood draw. It's a liquid biopsy. And what happens is we get that sample, we apply it to our proprietary nanochip, run it through our spectroscopy machine, apply a machine learning algorithm on top of it, and then give that precision medicine diagnosis back to your physician to have that conversation for treatment options. So why do we think we can do this now? We're at this really beautiful nexus of nanotechnology, exosomes as a cancer biomarker, and the computational power to make sense of it all. And so what are exosomes? Exosomes are the communication between cells. So think of them as UPS trucks going from the Amazon warehouse to your home delivering packages. It's really cool, right? And they enable really very powerful communications. And what ends up happening sometimes is that package could contain a bomb. So it's hazardous cargo. We're detecting hazardous cargo at the single exosome level. And that's a huge differentiator from us versus them. Now we're looking at the competition, next generation sequencing companies. What they're doing is they're looking at dying cells, which is fundamentally different from what our technique is. And what that means is, they need sufficient quantities of tumor, of cellular cancer matter in the blood in order to detect it. And that blood sample could be, it's as much as half of a normal blood donation that you would do. So the difference with us is living cells. And that means that we're taking a very fresh look at an old problem. We're coming in with an interdisciplinary science approach using material science, bioinformatics, to actually look at living cells at the single exosome level. We've published in peer-reviewed journals, and we've got 3 patents pending as well. We've interviewed lots of people. We're looking at clinicians and patients, and we've talked to them about their pain points and their journey, and we've also interviewed data scientists and regulators to find out exactly what we need to do to make this commercialized. So we're looking at the global market here. It's 1.5 billion, right? Anyone over 50, because those are the high-risk people. Now, if we're really going to go down into smokers and high-risk smokers, we're talking about 150 million globally. But let's look at the pain point for the American market. So start at the left, and you're going to see that only 36,000 people actually get diagnosed at an early enough stage. The rest of them are very expensive to the medical system, including taxpayer dollars. And so what are you really going to save? So our system allows for that liquid biopsy and for early cancer detection, and we're talking about saving $5.2 billion a year, and of course, lives. Our advisory team has a full complement of scientific and business talent, as does our business team, and this is Newer Labs.
Amazing work, everybody. You guys are doing some great things, and I'm super excited that the community gets to hear all those pitches today. Now, I do want to take this opportunity while you all take a look and make your vote for who you're going to choose for the crowd favorite. I want you to take a quick gander at a video that White Cloud just recently put together of a company who has gone through the journey in the past. So you're going to be able to take a few minutes and understand what Josh and the FloatMe team has been able to accomplish in the last few years after starting their idea at a startup weekend, transitioning through the community fund, our pre-accelerator, and now leading to their additional investment of about $3.7 million, which was just closed recently. Super excited for you all to see this video. Please take a look at it while you vote for the crowd favorite. Thank you.
My name is Josh Sanchez, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of FloatMe. FloatMe helps millennials avoid cash gaps and improve their finances. We started out at Geekdom in 2017 and have since exponentially grown the company. We're currently at a little over 20 employees and are just raised a $3.7 million seed round for the company. And with this, we're excited to add some more engineers to our team and really go about our mission, and that's to help people make better financial decisions. I started FloatMe first with dealing with the problem firsthand. Back in October of 2017, I was involved in a car accident where essentially I had to, dish out the cash I had in my savings to repair my vehicle. Like 62% of millennials at the time, I didn't have a credit card either, so I made the mistake of taking out a predatory loan and ultimately dealing with the consequences, and that's just overdraft fees and basically refinancing a loan that just doesn't make sense to take on in the first place. If you've already earned your paycheck and have worked those hours, why not have the ability to unlock a portion of that paycheck much sooner? With that came the original concept for FloatMe. Ultimately, we think we're going after a really big problem that has a lot of opportunities to democratize traditional financial services. Americans have a huge problem with overborrowing. When we first started, we were doing advances of up to $200, and what we learned was that most people don't really need $200. If they do take on $200, then guess what? You're already short another $200 next paycheck. The average transaction that causes someone to overdraft in the first place is just $24. It doesn't make sense to take on any more money when in fact, $50 can cover gas to go to work, food on the table, potentially a credit card bill. So that's really why we've capped, the advance at what it is today, and why we're excited to, build upon that and deliver other financial products in the future. I'm from the Rio Grande Valley. Came here to San Antonio in October of 2013 to come here for college. I went to the University of Ward and graduated with a degree in business management. Following that, I got started with a company called ADP and was there for about 2-3 months to learn about the payroll experience and more importantly sales and how challenging that is as a profession. With that, I ultimately just found a challenge in working with corporate companies. So with that same mindset, I quit my job and went to work for a small startup called Digital Creative Institute here at Geekdom, where I got the opportunity to learn from someone that had started their own company and sold it, and also just the fact of networking. I think networking is a really important skill set to have. In being at Geekdom, I was also excited to find that they had various programs to help entrepreneurs kind of start their own company, learn about what marketing is. One of the biggest events that kind of changed our lives is just the startup weekend. I had been a part of a few startup weekends in the past, but this one for me was really awesome because I finally took the opportunity to just take ownership and lead a team through something, and that something became the idea for FloatMe. That was a really powerful experience for us because it meant getting together on the weekends, and then through that testing out a few things, learning what was working, what wasn't working, and focusing on what was working, asking for help with the support of Geekdom through their mentorship program. A few months later, we decided to participate in Geekdom's Pre-Accelerator program, which was by far one of the best experiences for us in helping to tell our story. We were kind of quiet for a few months, and the Pre-Accelerator program really helped highlight how a company works and what it takes to get started, as well as focusing on the right things. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways from the program as well. We then started to receive our first few angel checks and really pushing the story and what we were building, and then we continued to build upon that, raised our first pre-seed round in December of 2019, and then come March of 2020 is when we went fully live and really closed on a second pre-seed round. Now we're about 18 months into the company and have since gone on to raise a little over $4 million and have helped members save over $12 million in overdraft fees alone. In addition to that, we've had the opportunity to add some awesome team members to our team, and then really building upon the San Antonio startup scene. I think it's awesome to have the opportunity to build in a city which has a lot of potential. And one of the biggest things for us is having investors that are here locally as well. So if you have an idea and want to pursue it, go test it out. Go see if there are people that are willing to try your product. Leverage the awesome resources that are here in the community here in San Antonio. Places like Geekdom have a variety of programs that helped us and can help you as well. That stems from the startup weekend. Following that, look into programs like the Geekdom Community Fund, which can grant you some money to help you pursue your idea and get you to the next stage of your company. I think another awesome program that you can leverage is the Geekdom Pre-Accelerator program. For us, that program was really beneficial in helping to tell our story. Lastly, on top of those things, it's really with the hard work. Like you're going to feel like you're failing more than 99% of the time, but let that 1% carry you forward. Downtown San Antonio has a lot of opportunities for growth. There's a lot of events that you can be a part of that can help spark an idea for your company. In addition, the endless supply of resources that you can access, whether that's people, mentors, capital here in San Antonio. We're hiring for talent. We're hiring across our engineering and support teams. If you have a passion to help people improve their finances, then come apply at our website and come be a part of an awesome company here in downtown San Antonio.
I love that video so much and what Josh is working on. He's doing some amazing things and their whole team. It's just so important. So without further ado, it's time to get to the winners. Before I do, I want to mention a couple things. First off, make sure to get your vote in. We're going to have a nice little banner down here for you to be able to follow so that you can get your vote in. We will be taking votes until 4 p.m. this afternoon, and then we will be announcing the winner a little bit after that. So please make sure to get your crowd favorite vote in. And then additionally, I want to make a huge shout out and thank you to the Geekdom team who's been able to pull this all together. White Cloud for being able to film this and to help work with the teams themselves to film the pitches that you just saw. And then last but not least, I also want to give a huge shout out to our judges who came together to be able to hear these pitches, give some great feedback, and to offer some help going forward. But without further ado, we're going to get to the winner. So the winner of this quarter's, the last quarters of 2020's Community Fund winner is, drum roll please, so Betty's Code. Jennifer and her husband end up winning Betty's Co. The $25,000 Safe Note investment. Really excited to see what you all are capable of doing with this investment. I know you'll do some amazing things, and I think the whole crowd watching will be keeping track of everything that you're doing. So congratulations. Look forward to seeing what you do, and look forward to seeing you all another time here in the future. Thank you all.